to the unveiling of a large-scale art installation, which is a joint project, a collaboration between Singapore Tourism Board India and St+art India Foundation. We are very happy to have collaborated and brought together two very talented artists. One from Singapore, Ms. Tina Feng, and the other from India, Ms. Oshin Siva. So Tina Feng will be joining you, like me, through a video call, and Oshin Siva is there with you, and she will be shortly speaking to you about the joint project she has done with Tina Feng. This particular collaboration between Singapore Tourism Board and St+art comes at a time which is very, very a happy moment for all of us in India and in Singapore. It is coming at a time that Vaccinated Travel Lane arrangements between India and Singapore have opened up. In November last year, in 2021, we had three cities, Mumbai, Delhi, and Chennai, which had Vaccinated Travel Lane arrangements to Singapore. But now, effective 16th of March, all of India is now able to fly into Singapore through the Vaccinated Travel Lane arrangements. So a fully vaccinated traveler can come into Singapore for quarantine-free travel and enjoy the experiences. And we are very happy that we are kickstarting this Singapore Reimagine Reopening campaign in Chennai. Chennai is a very important source market for us. Tamil Nadu is an important source market for us. And I'm happy that we are having this art installation unveiling in Chennai at the Phoenix Market City Mall. The Vaccinated Travel Lane arrangements then makes it possible for Indian travelers to come to Singapore and enjoy new, differentiated experiences in a very safe and enjoyable manner. So I'm looking forward to having all of you experience தமிழ்நாட்டைச் சேர்ந்த சென்னையைச் சேர்ந்த மக்களுக்கு வழங்க இருக்கிறார்கள். இரு கலைஞர்கள் மூலமாக ஒருவர் சிங்கப்பூரைச் சேர்ந்த மிஸ் டினா ஃபெங், இன்னொருவர் இந்தியாவைச் சேர்ந்த மிஸ் ஓஷின் சிவா. இவர்கள் இருவரும் இணைந்து ட்ரீம்ஸ் ஃப்ரம் த ஃபியூச்சர்ஸ், எதிர்கால கனவுகள் என்ற இந்த கலைப்படைப்பை உங்களுக்கு வழங்க இருக்கிறார்கள். இந்த கலைப்படைப்பு சிங்கப்பூர் ரீஇமேஜின் ரீஓப்பனிங் கேம்பெயின் இதன் கீழ் வரக்கூடிய எங்களுடைய ஒரு நடவடிக்கை. இந்த ட்ரீம்ஸ் ஃப்ரம் த ஃபியூச்சர்ஸ், எதிர்கால கனவுகள் கலை படைப்பை கண்டு ரசித்து உங்களுடைய வாசகர்களோடு பகிர்ந்து கொள்ள வேண்டும் என்பது என்னுடைய அன்பு விண்ணப்பம். உங்கள் அனைவருக்கும் ஒரு இனிய மதிய பொழுதாக இந்த பொழுது அமையட்டும். மீண்டும் சந்திப்போம். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
My collaborator Tina Feng, who is a Singaporean artist. So with this interactive artwork called Dreams from the Future, we wanted to explore an immersive installation that is inspired by Singaporean and Indian cultural elements. At the core of the artwork, we also wanted to convey the idea of hope and community. We've used a lot of sensory elements such as light, typography, sound, and visual elements as well to bring about this concept. And we've also kind of included elements from the past to reimagine a more diverse and inclusive future. And thank you so much for coming. And I will take you through specific elements and what they mean during our walkthrough later.
Thank you very much for sharing these wonderful views with us. I request Arjun to also share his views at this point. And thank you for being here, first of all.
Thank you so much. Firstly, I would love to thank Singapore Tourism Board, Phoenix Market City and the team, Tina, who's not here, Oshin, and the team of St+art Foundation, because the installation is a challenging one, and you guys will see it. It looks simple, but there's so many permutations, combinations, technology involved, and the fabrication is a challenge, especially when one of the artists is not here. So we also have to reimagine how to do this, given the fact that there is still a bit of a protocol of COVID. But that's the key of what we do. I mean, we try to make things happen, and given circumstances, and this is the fourth collaboration with Singapore Tourism Board, and a second such where we've had to work the installation or the artwork in remote without the full team or the full artist strength not being there. So yeah, I think let the installation speak for itself. I'm quite excited. I haven't seen it. I just came in this morning, and would love to see it from the artist's eyes and hear what she has to say there.
Absolutely, and that sounds really exciting and interesting for all of us. I just can't wait to go and check out the the installation myself. But before that, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to invite Mr. Renjay Wong, the Acting Area Director, Western and Southern India, Singapore Tourism Board, to please join Arjun Bell and Oshin Siva to answer some of my questions. So I request all the three of you to answer. So we've handpicked some questions and we want you to please share your opinion here. So here's the first question, ladies and gentlemen. This art installation is all about reimagining our futures. Why do you think this is so important in this day and age? So, who wants to go first?
Sure, I'll be happy to go first. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Oshin, as well as Arjun, for being here with us today. We've had a long history of collaboration with st+art Foundation here at the Singapore Tourism Board. And I think for us, it really is about st+art's ability to completely go outside of the box, break out to new boundaries, and really reimagine and transform spaces, right? So that for us has always been, one of the most exciting parts of working with st+art. And then when we came to know of Oshin's work, it all kind of clicked in our head, right? It made sense because Oshin is so futuristic in her own way, and so able to reinterpret familiar motifs in ways that I never would have imagined before. And I think that resonates very strongly with us at the Singapore Tourism Board and Singapore as a country, because for us, reimagining possibilities, I feel, is in our blood. Singapore is constantly changing, Singapore is constantly evolving and reinventing ourselves. And I think particularly in the past 2.5 years, when travel kind of went dark, it was a very busy time in Singapore, I have to be honest, because our tourism partners in Singapore, our attractions, our hotels, and all of the things that our Indian friends know and love in Singapore were constantly reimagining and reinventing what they could offer the Indian traveler. And so we're very excited to be here today. We're very excited to be talking about the topic of reimagining, because today when the Indian traveler comes back to Singapore, when our friends from Chennai as well from all over India visit Singapore, it's of course a very
work on a similar vein in my own practice too. I am very much inspired by sci-fi and futurism, but also kind of mixed with my Tamilian heritage. I'm from Vellore and Tirunamalai, Tamil Theriyu, if you want to ask me some Tamil questions. So yeah, and also Tina Fung, who is the Singaporean artist. The kind of installations that she does always has the sense of otherworldliness with the material that she uses and the motifs that she uses as well, which is also very much connected to Singapore and her own culture. And so, yeah, this is also my first installation in general, which is why I'm extra excited for this. And also the collaboration just seemed natural and quite organic, and yeah, it was just easy to work with the brief and Tina, of course.
Wow, thank you for sharing these wonderful insights. And over to Arjun now, please.
And especially in India, I haven't seen something like that. It's driven by technology, driven by the thought of the future, about the thought about this utopian state we are trying to create, imagine. And also, Oshin has worked on a really cool filter. I think that's something which we all need to explore. It's on Instagram. I'm very excited to do that. And especially with what's happening now, I think the filters and the metaverses and things like that, I think we slowly, with the future, while the art is also getting futuristic, the technologies are there to support it. And this installation is happening because of that. I mean, this is a great example of how someone sitting in Singapore and Oshin was sitting in Goa till day before yesterday have worked together along with the team to create something magical. Yeah.
So I can't wait to agree more with him, absolutely. And here's your next question. Please share your thoughts. Well, technology definitely has changed the way we communicate. I'm sure you all agree, right? Take the example of the two artists you've worked together here. So what are the possibilities that you imagine? We'll go with Machine first.
Yeah, Arjun touched upon how technology has aided us in creating this project. I guess all of us are quite used to Zoom calls and like video calls and stuff like that during the pandemic. Tina and I haven't met in real life during this project, and hence technology in the process of what we've been making has been super helpful, which also is in line with the theme and the idea behind our installation as well. And yeah, we also have been kind of exploring augmented reality and new media technologies with this piece too. And yeah, I can show you through how you can access it and what it is later on.
Yeah, thanks for that. I think the question of technology is something that has been bandied around a lot and people talk about it a lot. But I think one of the more tangible ways that I think technology is, I see truly the benefits of, is how it makes life easier. And not just makes life easier, but makes life much bigger, right? It helps you imagine, it helps you expand what you can think of and what is possible. And I think that's very much something that we see in Singapore. And like I said, particularly in the past 2 years, Singapore has really invested in technology, and really in terms of making the visitor experience more seamless, safer, and also much more fun, right, than ever before. I mean, filters, in terms of our attractions, using technology to make that experience so much more augmented, but also even simple things like our airport, right? So our airport was one of the first in the world to employ technology for a completely contactless experience. So even when you check in using AI for facial recognition, when you fill in your immigration form, there's no more queuing up at the immigration counters. You do it all online, and all of this I think is what's important for us in this day and age, right? Where COVID has completely exploded everything that we expect and everything that we want out of a travel experience. Using technology to be able to meet the demands of tomorrow is something that we see as very important. So I think, and again, I couldn't resonate more with the kind of work that you're seeing, right? So I think when we go down to the installation later, and you're standing there and in the middle of this installation that's so built on technology or new media and so on, I think you'll feel a little bit of that, that hopefully gives you a little bit of a glimpse into what we have in Singapore as well. So yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much and very well said. So what's your thoughts on technology, Arjun, if I may ask?
I mean, it resonates with what they both have said right now. But important thing about the installation is that there are two. You can see it 2 times. You see it in the day, and it's very different. And you see it at night, and it transforms. Is that got to do with technology? Yes, obviously, because there's lights, etc. It's also got to do with the thought and the idea of how this one work talks 2 different languages in 2 different times. So that's what's exciting. Yeah, of course, I mean, technology is great, but the physicality of this installation is the most important part. I would have showed this, if the artist would have showed the same installation in a metaverse or AR, would that create the same feeling? I don't know. I think our folks from media and our friends over here need to answer that question. I don't think it would. I don't know if technology is there which can fill up what these people have done, what the team has done, the effort which has been made, the feel and touch of the installation. When you take a picture next to it, that's really what it is. So I'm more excited. I'm obviously excited about technology, and I love it, and I'm happy that it's enabled us. But the physicality of it, is and the duality of it in the day and at night is very exciting for me, at least personally.
Wow, this is very informative, and we can't wait to go and witness it live. Well,
Artist and set designer based in Singapore. I have a studio here called Space Object, and we work in the medium of built environments, covering anything from installations to set design, all the way through to immersive environments. Dreams of Futures is a collaboration with artist Oshin based in Goa, and the intention of the work really was to create a utopic inspired environment that evokes a sense of connection and wonder. The heart of the installation really was about creating a space in a circular format with these flanking wings in the shape of these goddesses. In a way, these faces act like protection statues around the perimeter of the work, but they also act as passages leading the audience into the heart of the space, in a sense, evoking a sense of coming together and unity. Subtle features of traditional Peranakan architecture and design has been used throughout the work. So everything from Peranakan windows all the way through to Peranakan patterns have been applied. And it was an interesting way to inject some of our local inspirations into the work in India.
Everything started months ago when the Singapore Tourism Board proposed us once more to collaborate on a project that could bring people together to reimagine. Quite of a hard task considering the times that we've been living in recently. The concept of utopia, a place that doesn't exist yet, but through unexpected journeys and discoveries can be created, came to my mind. Making me then discover the Singaporean-based artist Tina Fung, and immediately thinking of Shin Sila as a great Indian counterpart. From there on, literally till yesterday, sleepless nights have been pulled off by the many minds and hands that made this installation possible.
What the cost of the installation was.
In India, we have a special arrangement called the Vaccinated Travel Lane, so that's VTL for short, and that means that for Indian visitors who are fully vaccinated, they do not need to do any quarantine in Singapore. There are a couple of requirements, including some tests, but it's now easier than ever before. And of course, when they come back to India, there's no requirement for any quarantines or any tests, right? So we're really looking forward to this. We started off late last year, from 3 cities in India, Chennai being one of them, the other 2 being Mumbai as well as Delhi. And we're very happy to announce that as of today, more and more cities now are connected by these special flights. They're called the VTL flights. So when you take them from any of these flights from the cities all across India, our fully vaccinated visitors can enjoy some of these privileges of traveling to Singapore.
Booster dose? For senior citizens?
Yeah, so for fully vaccinated travelers, so that's I believe two doses at this point. Yeah.
So not necessarily they should have a booster.
No, we're happy. Yeah, we're happy to provide more information on that as we follow up.
This installation, we wanted the site to become to build an ecosystem or a framework to imagine what a layered coexistence can look like. And also to leverage the power of culture of India and Singapore, right? Because culture is really what kind of transforms our imagination and shows us what's possible, right? And so, of course, Tina Fung, who's a Singaporean artist, became a perfect fit because of her expertise in the built environment, of her reimagining spatial experiences. And then Ushin, of course, as well became an ideal fit because of her Tamilian heritage and the kind of themes her practice engages with. I'll let her take it forward. They're asking if you wanted to read it, but in Tamil.
So at the entrance of the installation, we have 2 distinct portraits, right? And these portraits are inspired by Tamil women in my life, but also sci-fi and futurism. Sci-fi and futurism. So some of the jewelry and grandma and the inspire I create panada. If we walk through the globes and planets, universe and cosmos in the inspired panada. because of the fact that we all share the same space, and also denotes to futurism and sci-fi and things like that. The mudra, for instance, is a symbol of flow of information and technology, and the mushroom is inspired by mycelium, which is a colony that grows under the soil, and it connects all the plants together. So I thought it would be a good idea to use that as a symbol to explain the fact that we're all connected. Hi. This is my mother. This is the central part of the installation. It is a symbol of a well. So a well is a symbol historically where people come together, and it's the center of a community. So we wanted to say that through the well. And the words inside mean Irke, Samugam, and Karpane, which are dreams, nature, and community, right? This is what we wanted to say. The floor also replicates water ripples. Water body is something that connects all human beings as well. And the architecture specifically, this for instance, this is inspired by something called the Peranican window, which is present in Singapore. And the pillars are inspired by Tamil architecture, so are the arcs. We also wanted to give the idea of love and hope in the installation. The flower, for instance, is the orchid flower, which is the national flower of Singapore. And the mirrors on top also are a kind of reflection of where we live and what we want the future to look like. Go around. As a part of the installation, we've also created a filter. The QR code is outside. If you scan it on your phone on Instagram, you can see the filter inspired by the motifs, the mudra motif that we see over here. Is neon and lit up, and at night the sense of otherworldliness and dream is also a bit more enhanced. So if you can, you should come check it out at night as well. Thank you so much. வந்ததுக்கு ரொம்ப நன்றி. It's open for public. எல்லாரும் வந்து பார்க்கலாம். It's a collaboration with Singapore Tourism Board and st+art India Foundation, and a Singaporean artist called Tina Fung and her studio Space Objects. In the installation, நாங்க hope and connection and togetherness பத்தி பேசுறோம். And thank you so much for coming.
மேடம், இங்கே இது எதுக்காக வச்சுருக்கோம் மேடம்? என்ன பர்பஸ்க்காக இது இருக்குது? என்ன வச்சுருக்கோம்?
இந்த இன்ஸ்டலேஷன் வந்து ஒரு ஃபியூச்சரை வந்து இமேஜின் பண்ணுற மாதிரி, எப்படி கூட இருக்கலான்னு, டைவர்ஸ் இன்க்ளூசிவ் ஃபியூச்சர். அண்ட் இது வந்து சிங்கப்பூர்லேருந்து இன்ஸ்பயர் பண்ணது, சிங்கப்பூர் அண்ட் இந்தியா. Visit a different country but also feel the same home as we do here. மூணு வாரத்துக்கு இருக்கும் இன்னிலேருந்து.
Close connection, a common Tamilian heritage. So we're very, very excited to be partnering st+art as well as a good friend of Singapore, Oshin, in collaboration with the Singapore-based artist Tina to create this wonderful, wonderful installation called Dreams of the Futures. We're super excited for our friends from Chennai to come down and experience this installation for themselves, get a little bit of taste of how we do it in Singapore in terms of being able to reimagine all the possibilities that we have. We're very happy to announce that between Singapore and India, we now have a special arrangement for travel for vaccinated Indian travelers to visit Singapore without any quarantine. And so we welcome visitors, our friends and family from Chennai to come over and visit this installation, get a taste of what it is like in Singapore, and then come and visit us in Singapore to get a sense of how we reimagine all the possibilities for our visitors.
So